Hey guys, it's Matt, the Joker Thayer here. What I'm here to talk to you about today is a type of spoon that Pro King Spoons has out. The type of spoon that I'm talking about is called a Pro Spoon. What it is the smallest size blank that Pro King Spoons offers. The reason that Pro King hadn't had this spoon in the past, it actually went away. It was around in the 80s and then again in the 90s. And what had happened was when Pro King decided to come out with the Magnum size spoon, one that you guys are most likely familiar with, this longest size spoon here, when they decided to come out with that Magnum, that was due to big king salmon in the lake, or Great Lakes I should say. And then they went away from the small size. Everybody was interested in catching big kings. The interest in catching the other species had gone down a little bit. So in the attempt to streamline their products, Pro King went away from producing 3 blanks and then steadied themselves on the 2 largest sizes. Well, over the last few years, tournament fishing in particular, as well as your average weekend angler, has kind of gotten back into the idea of catching steelhead, catching coho salmon, brown trout on a regular basis. Enjoy catching those species, have decided that that's a good thing to do, so Pro King in response has decided to re-release the spoon blank that they once had. What I have in front of me here is a half a dozen different Pro Spoon colors. We're going to go over those in a little bit. The reason that Pro King has this goofy shaped spoon, you guys are going to notice this spoon is a different shape than small spoons you might be familiar with, other steelhead and coho spoons you might be familiar with, in that it's short as well as wide. Here are the sizes of the 3 Pro Spoons made, and you can see that the breadth, the distance across the spoon, doesn't really vary too much between the 3 sizes, although the length does. The reason that spoon is so wide is to give this particular spoon action at low speeds, a very wide wobble, an erratic wobble at low speeds. The problem that comes about when you increase a spoon's width is that it has a tendency to spin at higher speed. So, from the side profile, and you guys aren't going to be able to pick it up in the camera here, but in my hand, and you guys will see once you can get to your local tackle store to check it out, is that the spoon is a little bit thicker than what you would ordinarily see. And I'm talking about the thickness now, not the breadth. We know that it's wider, but the thickness of the spoon blank. What that thickness does is resist the spin. It's a little bit heavier, and it resists spinning at higher speed. So now what we have is a spoon that has a wide wobble at slow speed, but can be fished at higher speed because it's thicker and heavier and resists that spin. What this all means is that you can fish a mixed spread. You can fish for king salmon and lake trout down deeper, particularly early in the year when slower speeds are necessary for those species, and still catch steelhead coho salmon up near the surface at 2.0, 2.1 speed over ground on your GPS. I'm not talking down speed. Maybe 1.5, 1.6 on your Pro will be plenty to turn this spoon over and get plenty of action enough to catch steelhead. I showed you guys the sizes, the lengths. These were the 2 that you were most likely familiar with, the Magnum size and the regular size. And then again, compare to the smallest, the Pro Spoon. The colors that we like to use most often, and that's going to vary depending on the species of fish that you're targeting. We use these spoons a lot for cohos and steelhead. So when we're talking about cohos and steelhead, here's a spoon. Double orange laser is a pattern a lot of people know it as. We call it the Medic. It's 2 different types of orange. Standard procedure for steelhead is a lot of oranges, a lot of reflection. Here's an orange killer, something that I like to use when there's a little bit more sunshine. You can see the prismatic tape on the one side. I'm not going to say it doesn't work when it's overcast or a little bit more dim outside, because it does have a glow-in-the-dark ladder on it, a crushed glow ladder. Another one for lower light situations or foggy overcast situations is an orange glow. On top of those, we also will often fish more bait fish imitators, ones that aren't so gaudy in color. By that I mean there's a green killer. When you find that when those species of fish, cohos and steelhead, are actively targeting minnows rather than eating a mix of insects and other garbage on the surface, some more natural type colors, and by natural I mean blues and greens and silvers, are oftentimes more necessary. Here's one that a lot of people call UV. This is what we call our bare naked. Very prismatic tape for the sunshine, although it doesn't glow, so in that low light situation you may struggle a little bit more with this, but it does a fantastic job of replicating a bait fish. Pardon me. I have 6 colors laid out in front of me right now. One thing that you're going to see if you have a chance to pick up a Pro King catalog is that they have, I believe it's 49 different colors of Pro Spoons. Half of those are what we call a Walleye Series Pro Spoon, and that the only difference is a color pattern, that color palette, and then the Salmon Series. These are Salmon Series Pro Spoons in front of me right now. Understand that the differences between those two series are only the color patterns. There's not to say that a walleye isn't going to eat an orange killer and salmon won't eat a blueberry muffin Pro Spoon. So what I would recommend is that you guys get out to your local tackle store, ask to see if they have any catalogs in stock. Also, you can go online and check out the Pro Kings online on their website. And good luck on the water. Try them out for some steelhead as well as coho salmon up near the surface.